Joel, a cop possessed by a demon entity Smile, is waiting outside a drug dealer's house. He plans to kill one drug dealer in front of another to pass on the curse to the witness of the murder. When one of the dealers arrives, he quickly moves towards him and takes him hostage. He takes him inside and kills him in front of his brother. A shootout begins between Joel and the dealer, during which he hits the dealer, but he needs him alive to pass on the curse. Unfortunately, the dealer dies. As he tries to leave the place, other dealers come and start shooting at him. To escape, he uses the back window to get out of the house. As he is running away, he is hit by a truck, leaving a bloody trail resembling a smile. Next, we see Sky, a singing sensation, coming on a Drew Barrymore show as she is making a comeback after 1 year of absence due to issues with substance abuse and a car crash that killed her actor boyfriend. During one of her practice sessions, she hurt her back but continued with the practice. After her practice, she wants to take the drugs to relieve her of her pain, but accidentally drops them in the sink as her mother knocks on the door. While going back to her hotel, she is feeling the pain in her back. She texts her friend Lewis if she can come to his place, to which he responds yes. As her mother drops her at the hotel, she goes in and comes back out as her mother leaves. She goes to Lewis's house, who looks at her strangely. He pulls her inside and puts a sword around her neck. He asks her why is she here, to which Sky responds he asks her to come. Lewis checks his phone as he doesn't remember texting her. He tells her that he is having a very bad week and has been dealing with some strange stuff. The guy is pretty high on drugs. Sky asks him for drugs for her back pain. He goes inside to get the drugs for her. As he doesn't come out, she goes inside to check on him, at which he comes out screaming, which scares her. He looks toward the ceiling and shouts at something to get away from him. However, Sky doesn't see anything. He lies down as if something is entering his body through his mouth and begins to choke. Sky comes forward to help him, but he looks at her with a strange smile on his face as if something possessed his body. Scared, Sky drags herself away from him. The guy takes the gym weight and smashes it against his face again and again, which severely mutilates his face, causing his death. Sky is appalled by what she witnessed. Afraid that if she calls the police, she will be in trouble with all the drugs in the house, and she leaves without informing anybody. As she looks exhausted, her mother tells her to reach out to her estranged friend whom she hasn't spoken with for over a year. She tries to message her friend but holds herself back. She receives a message from an unknown number which mentions that she was at Lewis's house last night. She feels as if something is around her. She looks around to check, but there is no one. When she looks back in the mirror, she sees Lewis standing behind her, who then attacks her. But it turns out she was hallucinating. Later at a PR event, while giving autographs to her fans, one of the fanatic fans tries to grab her, which makes her uncomfortable, and the security takes the guy away. After taking a breather, she comes back to continue meeting with her fans. A young girl comes to her with a big smile. She doesn't respond to Sky's questions and just keeps staring at her with a weird smile throughout. While looking at the message from an unknown number, Sky pulls out a few strands of her hair. She then calls Gemma, but she doesn't pick up the phone, so Sky leaves a voicemail. Gemma calls her back instantly. Sky struggles to find words to say to Gemma and asks her to come over as she needs to talk to her. Listening to Sky's concerning tone, Gemma agrees to come. Sky then starts playing the music and hears a glass breaking. While checking around, she hears a whimpering sound, but no one responds to her call. She grabs a stick from the closet. While coming back, she finds a t-shirt lying on the floor, which she signed earlier. She sees clothes lying on the floor in the path and finds the same fanatic fan standing towards the end, who starts to run after her. She runs towards the door, and as she opens the door, she gets startled looking at Gemma standing outside. Sky tells Gemma to remain quiet and grabs a showpiece on her way back inside. On checking again, there are no clothes on the floor anymore. Sky is relieved to see Gemma and apologizes to her for her behavior. Gemma accepts her apology and asks her what happened. Sky tells her about the incident with Lewis. Gemma feels bad for what Sky has to go through and offers to stay with her during the night. Sky wakes from the nightmare relating to her accident. As she's talking to herself to calm herself down, she hears Gemma saying she is not a good person. She looks at Gemma, but she is sleeping. Sky calls her name. Gemma looks at her and starts smiling, which turns into a scary face. Sky gets up from the bed and sees Gemma standing in the room with tea in her hand and realizes that it was just a dream. Sky realizes she's late for her commitment. During her rehearsal, she sees a face in front of her and falls, injuring her leg. When the light turns on, she finds that there is no injury, but she is angry at the crew as she believes one of the dancers was out of place and caused her to fall. The choreographer tells her no one was out of place. Feeling embarrassed, she leaves the stage. While going to her room, she sees her assistant, Joshua, coming out of her room with a wicked smile. When she checks her room, it is all messed up. Sky shouts at Joshua for messing her room, but he denies any wrongdoing. Her mother takes her inside the room and tells her that Joshua was with her all this time. She asks Sky if she is doing drugs again, to which she says no. Sky tells her mother that she is not in the right mindset and wants her to cancel the night program organized by the sponsor, to which her mother says that she needs to stand up to her commitments. While waiting backstage for a charity event, she receives a message from the unknown sender telling her that he knows she is Sky, which makes her nervous. While removing the fly from her face, she ruins her lipstick and goes to the stage without fixing it. The teleprompter from which Sky is reading stops moving. Not knowing what to say next, she starts talking about how hard the music industry can be and starts saying negative things about it, which doesn't go down well with the audience. As the teleprompter starts to work again, she reads the name of her dead boyfriend, at which she panics. She looks at the audience and sees her boyfriend approaching the stage. She closes her eyes to snap out of it, and when she opens her eyes again, he is gone. Hallucinating that her boyfriend attacked her, she accidentally pushes the old lady off the stage, which injures her. Everyone looks in horror at what just happened. Gemma is not responding to Sky's messages, and she receives further messages from the unknown number telling her that her life is in danger and he can help her. The sender asks her to meet him at a bar. On reaching the place, the person tells her that Lewis didn't kill himself, but was killed by a demon which can be seen by the host only. He wanted to warn Lewis, but he was already dead, and he found Sky's number on his phone. He tells her that the demon plays with the host's mind, then kills the host in front of a witness, and the witness becomes the next host. And that is how Sky got it. She asks him how does he knows all of this, to which he responds that it killed his brother. He further tells Sky that in order to get rid of it, she will have to die outside of being killed by the demon itself. This freaks out Sky and is not ready to take such drastic steps. He tells her that he is an ER nurse and knows a way to slow down her heart, and once the demon is gone, he will revive her. Sky doesn't trust him, and as they are talking, the public begins to notice her, and she has to leave the place. On reaching her home, she starts to pack her stuff but hurts her back in the process. She loses control of herself and starts throwing things around. After calming down, she resumes her packing. When she switches on the lights in her closet, there are a number of people standing with a wicked smile on their faces. She runs away from them and comes across more people in her living room. She gets surrounded by all of them, and they start to hurt her. While she's being held down by the group, a hand enters her mouth, and she loses consciousness. Next, we see the argument between Sky and Paul, which led to their accident, and this wakes up Sky. Her mother tells her that she needs to rest and get ready for the show scheduled for the next night. Sky tells her mother she has been going through a lot in her mind, and the show needs to be canceled. Her mother tells her that there are no second chances, and gets emotional at how much she has sacrificed for Sky and she is throwing everything away. Sky tells her mother that she doesn't understand her state of mind, at which her mother's expression changes with a wicked smile on her face. Her mother then breaks the mirror and starts hurting herself, and eventually kills herself. While running out of the room, she finds the mirror in her hand with which her mother killed herself and blood on her clothes. She wears a sweatshirt over her gown to hide the blood stains. On her way out, Joshua sees blood on her dress and calls for help. She sees a security guard coming and manages to grab his gun and runs away. On her way out, she sees Gemma, who then drives her away. Sky texts the guy she met earlier that she is ready. He tells her to come to Staten Island. Sky asks Gemma to stop and get out of the car as she doesn't want anything happen to her. While they are talking, Sky receives a call from the real Gemma, and she tells her that she was not sure if she wanted to talk to her, which is why she didn't respond to her calls and messages. Sky realizes that the person next to her is not Gemma, but the demon playing with her mind. She shouts, "I am in control," and eventually manages to take control of her senses, where she is the one actually driving the car. On reaching the place, Sky tells the guy to shoot her if sees her smiling as they need to stop the demon. The guy explains the entire process while going through a dilapidated building. On reaching the freezer where they will perform this process, he tells her that he will inject her neck to slow down her heart, which makes her nervous. He tells her the cool temperature will help in delaying the damage to her brain due to lack of oxygen. She lies on the table, and Morris tells her he will be back in a minute. As Sky is waiting for Morris, she sees blood dropping on her. When she looks up, she sees the demon in her form, and it attacks Sky. The demon tries to take control of Sky, but she bites its thumbs, which hurts the demon, and this gives Sky the opportunity to inject herself to slow her heart rate. However, it has no effect on Sky, at which the demon laughs, and tells her that this is all an illusion and she is not in control of the situation. Sky tries to get away, but the demon locks her inside a chamber. When the door opens, Sky finds herself on the stage standing in front of thousands of fans and her mother being still alive. She sees the demon in her form standing opposite to her with a wicked smile. She tears her stomach, and the demon comes out of it. She screams in fear, but no one can see the demon other than her. It opened her mouth to get inside her, but others can only see her lying on the stage. She gets up in a few moments, and when she turns round, she has a big smiling face as the entity has taken full control over her. To everyone's disbelief, she takes her own life in front of everyone by stabbing her eye again and again with the mic, and the movie ends there.